whatever you want to say. Oh, we got to be Marlboro men, smoke a pack a day, ride my horse. But at the same time, that's I wouldn't say it's necessarily flipped, but it's definitely swayed, I think, a little bit more towards the female side of things. I mean, it's still, I would say it's 50-50 for sure, but it's definitely swung more where it's like, wait a minute, what's going on here? I mean, not saying I got every one of my male athletes coming in and pulling at every single heartstring or pouring out their emotions, but at the same time, it's started to be, okay, now we're Marlboro all women. It's like, excuse me, like, what did you just say to me? So, and I think some of that comes back to kind of the iPad, the social media, the TikTok, whatever variation they're in of, oh, I'm guru so-and-so. I'll help you through your depression. I'll help you through your eating disorder. And some of those individuals might be legitimate, might have licensure, PhD, whatever, but a lot of them just read PubMed and think they have the brain figured out. It's like, man, please tell me what I'm doing wrong, because shit.
Yep.
So I know that is a big component of it, because kind of like Spence talked about, the social gap, whether they have had worse experiences in person or just seen, I mean, all the hot garbage that is on social media today.
Yep.
Is that what's driving that change?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have an answer for you, but yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I think.
That's fine. I'm just asking for experiences. Yeah, no evidence.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question.
Your experiences, you've seen it where the men are starting to come in a little bit more, and maybe some of the women are being a little bit more reserved.
Yep.
Okay, which is fine. And so now, what are the Spence? Did you have another question? Because I'm going to go towards the women's track right now.
No, here you
go. What are some of the big things that you're seeing women come with when it comes to either performance-wise or like mental health-wise, concerns-wise? What are some of the things that you've seen a lot of these freshman women, sophomores coming in that you need to work on?
Mm-hmm. So in terms of just general performance, the biggest thing that I think, just from a profession, just need train. I mean, just because they're a different gender does not necessarily mean a whole lot. Yes, you could argue in the physiology, hormones. Yeah, we can dive into the weeds, right? But at the end of the day, they're human. They're human. Pick up heavy stuff, set it down, put a few more pounds on, do it again. Then the next week, make it heavier. The week after that, retest, deload, start over. I mean, it's not saying it's super simple like that, but at the same time, it doesn't need to be rocket science. We're not sending them to Mars and back. I mean, I hope they do in their career. That'd be freaking cool.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing that I see, especially with the young women I'm fortunate enough to get to work with, is a lot of, honestly, the self-talk.
Okay. Talk about
this freshman class has been interesting, because I don't know if it's just a lack of training history, time underneath the barbell, time with a coach like myself, time with anything organized, or it was the wrong type of coach, wrong program, whatever. But the coach, I don't know if I can do this. What are you talking about? I wouldn't put it on the paper if I didn't think you could do it. Coach, it's more than my body weight. Good. Like, good, let's go. Pick it up. I'm not going to let you die. No one here is going to let you die. We got your back. So, coach, I don't know if I can do this. And then it's kind of 1 turns into 3. And then now it's 3 or 4 racks. So, like, coach, I don't think I can do this. It's like, dang it. And that kind of group infection of just exponential growth of negative mindset, negative self-talk. And I've had to pull that group aside a couple times, like, hey, this isn't my first rodeo. You're not the first group of female athletes I've ever worked with. But I promise you, if it's on the sheet of paper that I gave you, I guarantee you can do it. I wouldn't put anything on there that was impossible for you to do. That's not my job. And that is definitely something that has really been a challenge this year, because I've been really fortunate. I worked a lot of my career pre-COVID, and I built a lot of great relationships with teams and coaches, so we could work on that as I developed my programs, developed their individual programs and everything. But coming into the institution where I work now, post-COVID, and with the generations that we're working with now, it's really forced me to dig into my toolbox a little bit, and kind of some of my stuff I learned as an intern, as a young coach, and a GA, where it's, okay, instead of just do it, it's, hey, let's pump the brakes. What's going on? Again, coming back kind of to listening to them, it's like, okay, you clearly there's a mental block, whether it's someone told you you'd never be able to do this in the past, which shame on them, or it's you have never been pushed. So one of those two sides of the spectrum, I mean, it's just something that I've really had to dial in on.
Yep. I would assume it's got to be some anxiety that's going on there, right? Some imposter syndrome. Maybe they did have bad coaches. There's probably a multitude of things that are going on, but definitely I would say with even my clients in the therapy room, that self-talk, that anxiety is bad. The doubt is bad. There's the social support is not there. A lot of them think that all their friends hate them. They think that they're letdowns in every way, their sport, their relationships, their parents, right? And so it's just very, 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 very negative.
Yeah. And I mean, I asked one of my athletes, like, where is this coming from? Where is this coming from? I mean, this is an individual who, in my eyes, looks like a high level gymnast. Crank out sets of 10 on pull-ups. I mean, it's just one of those things. What are you talking about? Can't. It should not be part of your vocabulary. I mean, you're letting it be a part of your vocabulary, but you are showing me everything on the other side of that coin that
Interesting. So there must have been some type of block, some type of thing. So you sound like a therapist in that moment, coach. You're like, who told you that? Or what's going on? When did this become a thing and why? Because something, or you heard a lie one day and then you just believed it and ran with it and can't, you probably can. And mentally, if you tell yourself you can't, though, you're not. Like, we can show those studies over and over. If you say that you can't, I can't lift this, you're not going to lift it. If you think you can lift it, you might actually get that son of a bitch up.
Heck yeah.
Right. Manifesting things is for real. Manifesting in things in relationships, grades, confidence, visualization. If you visualize it 9 times out of 10, it's going to be horrific. You're going to fail. You're not going to be able to take the test. You're not going to ask that person out. It's probably going to go pretty bad.
Man, so speaking of visualization, I didn't mean to cut you off there, Naz, but so small portion of the track team, the throwers that I get the opportunity to work with, that was one thing I worked on with them a lot this fall. And one thing I would have them do is it's like, hey, you're going to warm up the bar, and then you're going to make another small jump. And that jump is the weight I want you to feel on your back when you're visualizing. It's not your 100%, but you know what that's going to feel like. And when it came to max out week, I mean, we had one of our guys on throw squad, about 585 for 5. And this was a kid who, I mean, for lack of a better term, he was kind of a nervous Nelly. He's like, coach, I don't know. I mean, it's like, dude, you are built to squat.
Yeah.
Period. Like, you are built to squat. And he would come, he had the opportunity to study abroad. Sure. And he spent 2 semesters abroad. And it's like, well, I don't know. I haven't been training for such a big gap of time. The nervous system doesn't forget what that is. And he did this, and he came up to me. He's like, Coach, what do you think we could have done if I didn't study abroad? I was like, dude, thank you. Finally. It's like, come on.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, he's number 4 on our all-time leaderboard for the squat now.
Yeah.
His calculated squat came out 675.
675. That's
Good Lord.
That boy got what we call them drumsticks. You know, that boy got, you know,
drumsticks.
That boy got them thighs.
I mean, it was one of those.
He got whole turkeys. What to talk about? Drumsticks.
That boy got a whole pig. 675, bro. That motherfucker eating.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Hungry boy.
But now he's one of the guys where I got to grab the reins and be like, hey, just because you can doesn't mean you have to.
Good.
Like, okay, it's like, what was it, 2 weeks ago? We had a volume session. Now, his max is freaking huge. So his light day was 505.
Yep.
And exactly, Spence. Exactly. Like,
okay,
excuse me. So I had to tell him, I was like, hey, we're going to do this first set. And if it looks okay, I'll let you do a second. Gets done with his first, like, Coach, my legs are tired. Okay, we're going to do a triple on the second set and you're done. Coach, it's on the card. I got to do it. No.
Yep.
No, we're dealing with weights that will cripple you if you're not 100%. You're not 100% racket. You're done.
I'm going to pivot this. So you're talking about athletes, you're talking about muscles, you're talking about understanding your body. So a lot of folks that are listening here, neurodivergent individuals, it's the same thing when it goes to eating. It's the same thing when it goes to knowing when you're overwhelmed, knowing how much energy you have to do your work, how much energy you have to talk to people, how much energy you have to play your games and do your self-care. You have to know what are your limits. And so Coach is saying that, you know, hey man, you can probably do this and like you want to do this. Should you push through and then study for like 5 more hours and not sleep? Or should you probably go to sleep, wake up, and then restart? Should you maybe take that break, go for a walk, and then restart your homework? Should after like a awkward thing with at school or your partner or a friend, you're freaking out and deregulated, should you go right into something else? Or should you maybe take that break, recover for 30 minutes or an hour, be silent, be secluded, do whatever your stim is, your regulation is, and then get back on the horse? A lot of people, Coach, will get ashamed because they don't meet that. They don't push through. I'm soft. I'm a bitch. I'm this or that. Right? I'm weak. Right? People say it doesn't matter what gender. And are you? Are you being smart? Are you being strategic? Are you making sure you don't blow your fucking leg out? Are you making sure you don't have a full blown meltdown and now you had a panic attack? Now you're embarrassed. Now you're throwing up. Now you're anxious all the time. So are we moderating our behavior to make sure that we're operating efficiently and effectively versus just blowing something out? And I think that's a lot of folks with ADHD and autism tend to forget. There's parameters on what we can do, and neurotypical individuals too. There's parameters to this. There's a science to this. And athletes will just blow right past it. A lot of athletes that you know got a little bit of OCD.
Oh yeah.
And they'll lock in and they're going to blow right past things and they're going to blow out their knees in their back. I got a couple strong boys now. I'm like, bro, we got to pull back. Well, I need to do this. I need to do that. I'm like, no, you don't.
Hey, thanks for watching this video. Check out the full episode on our channel and anywhere you find podcasts. Also, remember to like and subscribe. Whoop, whoop.